Hello everyone, my name is Aprajita. I'm a fourth year PhD student. I started my PhD back in 2018, and my research is in the field of medical image and signal analysis. My research topic is wavelet-based mathematical analysis of dynamic cerebral autoregulation. What this basically means is what our aim is to study using wavelet based method to study how the brain auto-regulates all the different bioindicators of the body. For my research, I work with medical signal data, which is in terms of time series. So the time series which is my data is they are the values of many different bioindicators over time. And these have been obtained after injecting two different drugs at two different times in several different patients. Some of the bioindicators that are studied here, for example, are the SBP, which is systolic blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure, hemoglobin, EtCO2, RR intervals, etc. There are over 15 different bioindicators for which we have the time series uh, over a over a period of time. So my project is to detect the correlation between the time series and hence between these different processes. What it means in much more simpler terms is how we can study is the what is the dynamical impact of basically, if for example, if we have a time series of SBP, the systolic blood pressure, for example, how is there a correlation or coherence between that and diastolic blood pressure, for example, or between SBP and hemoglobin, for example? So that can be studied between any two time series. Um, as the project title suggests, the hypothesis that we are studying is basically that the brain dynamically auto-regulates the bioindicators. That is the hypothesis. So the steps and techniques. In brief, basically what we want to do, since we want to study, we want to use wavelet coherence to detect the relationship between the two time series. Um, the most important aspect of this study is to find the statistically significant portion of the coherence. So once we find what the coherence between two time series is, we want to find what part of the coherence that we have obtained is actually statistically significant, because if it's not statistically significant, it does not hold much value to us. So this involves finding the statistically significant portion that involves finding an appropriate surrogate that best represents the data. Once we have found the appropriate surrogate, then we can use Monte Carlo simulation to find the statistical significance of the wavelet coherence that we have obtained. Um, the one thing that we know about our time series, about our data, is that they have been obtained by non-stationary process. A lot of different methods exist in the literature to find surrogates for many different types of processes. There are some for non-stationary process as well. Most of them are for stationary process. So we've looked at First, to start with, we've looked at many different available surrogates in the literature. At this point of time, we've also developed our own wavelet-based surrogate. So the surrogate that we have obtained for our non-stationary data is wavelet-based, and to make sure that it does give good results on non-stationary signals, non-stationary process, we test it on many different. We basically create artificial data and test for which we know the results, for which we know the frequency between two time series, between which we know the coherence, and then we use the wavelet-based surrogate by improving. We find the wavelet-based surrogate that we have found. We have found it by making improvement on a couple of existing algorithms. So at this point of time, we are testing our method to study the coherence results on some artificial non-stationary data on which it has shown improved result. We are also trying to find some alternate algorithms using machine learning and neural nets technique at this point of time. We're trying to see if we can do something with that as well and find like more interesting algorithms. Once that is done and once we find an algorithm, we can then apply it to our original data and find the coherence between different time series. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.